£11,500 a year. That's what the full UK state pension pays right now. And the system funding it runs on a promise that's getting harder to keep every single year. Here's the receipt nobody's reading. The state pension runs on a promise, not a pot of money. And the people making that promise are outnumbered by the people collecting it, and that gap is getting wider every year. 3 things: how the system actually works, why the numbers are cracking, and what happened to the pension your parents had. Stay till the end. The third one changes how you think about all of this. Here is how the state pension actually works. The national insurance you pay every month does not go into a fund. It goes straight out the door to pay today's pensioners. There is no investment account, no compound interest, no pot with your name on it. The DWP's 2023 annual report confirms this structure. It's a pay-as-you-go system. You pay for the people retiring now. Whoever is working when you retire will pay for you. That is the whole deal.
Most people think it works like a savings account. You pay in for 40 years, you get it back. That is not how it works. The money you paid in last year is already gone. It funded last year's pensioners. What you're getting when you retire is a claim on whoever is still working at that point. That is a fundamentally different thing, and it matters enormously when you look at the numbers behind it. To get the full new state pension, £221.20 a week in 2024-25 per DWP published rates, you need 35 qualifying years of national insurance, not 35 years of employment. Qualifying years. Gaps from career breaks, self-employment, or time abroad reduce that entitlement proportionally. The government runs a check your state pension service through HMRC and DWP. Most people have never looked at it. The number it shows can be lower than expected. Here is what surprises most people. If you started working before April 2016, your state pension is calculated under the old rules, not the new flat rate system. 2 people, same age, same contribution years, different final amounts. The rules changed, and most working people still don't know which set applies to them.
But here's what most people get wrong. They think the state pension problem is about whether they've paid enough in. That is not the real problem. The real problem is the ratio. According to ONS National Population Projections 2022, the UK's working age population is growing far slower than the over 65 population. The OBR Fiscal Sustainability Report 2023 projects the old age dependency ratio will rise sharply, fewer workers carrying more pensioners every decade than the decade before. Why is the ratio falling? 3 structural reasons, and none of them are temporary. People are living longer. ONS National Life Tables 2022 show life expectancy at 65 has risen significantly over the past 4 decades, meaning more pension years to fund per person. Birth rates fell, leaving fewer new workers entering the system each decade, and the state pension age has not kept pace with rising life expectancy, so the payout window is longer than the system originally priced in. The OBR Fiscal Sustainability Report 2023 puts a number on the pressure. State pension spending is currently around 5% of UK GDP. Under the triple lock and current demographic projections, the OBR projects that rising toward 8% of GDP by 2070. That is not a rounding error. That's adding more than half again to the bill. Something has to give: the triple lock, the pension age, the tax take, or some combination of all 3. The OBR's 2023 Fiscal Sustainability Report flags the triple lock as one of the biggest long-term fiscal pressures on the UK budget. That is the government's own forecaster saying it, not a think tank, not a headline. In 2022-23, the government suspended the earnings element of the triple lock. The official reason? Pandemic-era wage data was distorted. What it actually revealed was the release valve. When the math gets too tight, they adjust the mechanism. That is useful to know. Now the other half of this story. What happened to private pensions? Your parents' generation likely had a defined benefit pension, sometimes called final salary. The employer promised a specific income in retirement regardless of what markets did. The employer carried the risk. That is almost entirely gone from the private sector. What replaced it is defined contribution. You contribute, markets move, and whatever's in your pot at retirement is what you live on. The risk moved from employer to you. The Pension Protection Fund's Purple Book 2023 tracks over 5,200 defined benefit schemes in the UK. The overwhelming majority are closed to new members. Many are closed to new contributions entirely. This happened gradually through the 2000s and 2010s as employers realized the long-term liability. It was not a scandal. It was thousands of quiet company-by-company decisions that shifted an enormous amount of retirement risk from corporate balance sheets onto workers.
So here is what this actually means in practice, and this is the third thing promised at the start. 3 things. First, the state pension forecast most people have never seen. HMRC and DWP run the Check Your State Pension Service, which shows a projected amount based on the actual NI record. If there are gaps, HMRC publishes the cost of voluntary NI contributions to fill them annually. For many people, that is one of the most direct routes to improving the final figure. Second, the auto-enrollment minimum is likely not enough. Since April 2019, the minimum total workplace pension contribution has been 8% of qualifying earnings, 3% from the employer, 5% from the employee, per DWP auto-enrollment regulations. AIF's pension research consistently finds that for median earners, 8% is likely insufficient to maintain pre-retirement living standards over a full career. Most retirement income models target something closer to 12 to 15% of earnings over a working life. Third, time is the whole game with defined contribution pensions. Starting contributions at 22 versus 32, a 10-year gap, can produce a dramatically different retirement pot over a full working life. Not because of financial genius, not because of perfect market timing, just because of time in the market. The math doesn't care about intention, it just runs.
We started with £11,500 a year. That number is real. It's the full state pension right now per DWP. What's less real is the assumption it'll look the same in 20 or 30 years, or that the system funding it runs identically to today. The OBR is already modeling the scenarios where something changes. The demographic math doesn't lie. The private pension landscape already shifted, quietly, while most people weren't watching. At least now you're reading the receipt. If you found this useful, the video on auto-enrollment and what the 8% minimum actually buys you goes deeper into the private pension side. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one.